Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And today, I want to talk about these, I guess you could say, these statements made by two actresses when it comes to certain things that people have been critical of Hollywood lately. Not just Hollywood, but a lot of actors and actresses when they always come out and try to give their 2 cents when it comes to topics that a lot of people just don't really want to hear from them on. Like, nobody cares about what, let's say, Brad Pitt's opinions are when it comes to the current political situation in the United States. Like, nobody cares about that. Like, dude, we just want to see you act. We just want to see you act. Nobody cares about what your political opinions are. You're free to have them, of course, but nobody really cares about that stuff, except unless you're one of these fucking weirdos over on Twitter. But this just came out. Well, it just actually came out yesterday. But Black Widow and Avengers star Scarlett Johansson declares that actors' jobs are to act, not be politicians. Now, I'm going to expand on this a little bit more, but just to give you, but just something else that another actress said that I thought was really, really interesting. But Sharon Stone also came out and said that cancel culture is the, quote, stupidest thing she's ever seen happen. Now, I agree with both of their statements. I agree with both of their statements. I agree with what Scarlett Johansson said when it comes to an actor's job is to act and not be politicians. And I agree with Sharon Stone when she said that cancel culture is the stupidest thing that she's ever seen happen. Well, maybe not the stupid. I'm sure she's probably seen a lot of things in her life. I'm sure there's at least one thing that's probably stupider than cancel culture, even though cancel culture is pretty damn fucking stupid. So we'll expand on this in a little bit, but I want to focus on Scarlett Johansson a little bit because I feel like this is related to something that she got involved with in the past that, in all honesty, got her into a lot of trouble, and I feel like it might come back. It might come back to her again, because I'm pretty sure that when she made this statement, she had to know, especially after what happened, which we'll get into. She had to know that people are probably going to come after her for this. So she makes a statement that says, actors' jobs are supposed to act. Let's go ahead and read the article from Writing into Comics, and then I'll give my opinion and why I think why I think she needs to be ready, because again, something similar happened to her one time in the past. And if you've been keeping up with her career, or I guess specifically her statements, then you probably already know what it is I'm talking about. So in a recent interview, Avengers franchise star Scarlett Johansson shared her opinion that by nature of their job, actors are not obligated to act as politicians, but rather only to act. Speaking with UK fashion magazine, the gentlewoman Johansson told staff writer Sophie Elmhurst, I think, that she did not personally think that actors have obligations to have a public role in society. Now, this is very, very true. I agree with this, and I think this is very, very important because you know that there's a lot of people on Twitter who are going to ask probably actors for, like, what are your opinions on what this politician said? What are your opinions on this situation or that situation? And look, at the end of the day, these guys and gals are actors. That's all they are. Their job is to act. Their job is not to give anyone their opinions when it comes to certain political situations or political topics. Like, it's just that's not what their job is to do. And the thing is, I feel like in Hollywood, we're living in a time where people in Hollywood probably feel like they're being pressured to share what their political opinions are or where their political leanings are. The problem is, unless you happen to lean a certain direction, if you were to make it known that your political leanings happen to lean a certain way, then you're going to get all these fucking weirdos over on Twitter or on Instagram. They're just going to go after you and after you, begging for whatever company that you happen to be associated with to just completely fire you, and not just fire you, they want to have you unpersoned. So this is why I think that actors need to learn now, whether you're left-leaning or right-leaning, doesn't matter. I feel like they need to learn that you are not obligated to let your political leanings known. You can if you want to. Again, that's up to you. But if you're doing this because people on social media are pressuring you to, then no. You just remember, you are not obligated to share what your political leanings are. In fact, if you want to keep that private and to yourself, I guarantee you 90% of people are going to be okay with that. Some people want to, and she even says that she continued, but the idea that you're obligated to because you're in the public eye is unfair. You didn't choose to be a politician, you're an actor. That is true. Johansson would go on to explain to Elmhurst that for actors, your job is to reflect our experience to ourselves. Your job is to be a mirror for an audience to be able to have an empathetic experience through art. That is what your job is. Whatever my political views are, all that stuff, I feel most successful people can sit in a theater or at home and disappear into a story for a performance and see pieces of themselves, or are able to connect with themselves through this experience of watching this performance or story or interaction between actors or whatever it is. And that is indeed true. In fact, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people love movies. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people love TV shows. That's one of the reasons why people are willing to sit down and, read a book or read a comic book, because they want to just take some time to just disappear from the real world and be immersed in whatever story the author is choosing to tell. Which is one of the reasons why a lot of us have been criticizing what Hollywood is doing now, which is they're making a lot of movies and TV shows relevant to what's happening now. And when you do that, not only do you date your story, you make it to where a lot of people are not willing to pick it up, because when people pick up stories or when people sit down to watch a movie, they don't want to be reminded of what's happening outside their own windows. They want to forget what's happening in the real world for just a few moments of the day. That's what they want. She added, they're affected by it and they're thinking about it and they feel something. They have an emotional reaction to it, good, bad, uncomfortable, validating, whatever. That's my job. The other stuff is not my job. That is indeed, again, true, and I 100% agree. Johansson's comments echo the sentiments of fellow Marvel Cinematic Universe actor Kurt Russell, who in his own interview with the New York Times late last year similarly stated that I've always been someone who felt we are court jesters, that's what we do. As far as I'm concerned, you should step away from saying anything so that you can still be seen by the audience in any character. Johansson's next film, Black Widow, will be available in theaters and on Disney Plus on July 9th. Okay, so here's the thing. What do I think about what she said? Again, I 100% agree. But again, I feel like when she made these statements, she had to know, again, that there are probably going to be a lot of people who are going to go after her considering what happened to her. Now, what exactly happened to her in the past that, is kind of similar to what's probably going to happen to her now after making these statements? Well, if you remember, and it's okay if you don't remember, because it was a really stupid situation, and I would not blame anyone if they wanted to purge that from their memories. But basically what ended up happening is that she was being attacked because she was cast to play a role, and I talked about this a little bit in the live stream I just did, but she was cast to play a character who was apparently a trans male, and people criticized that decision because they said, well, Scarlett Johansson isn't trans, so why is she playing a trans character? And the thing that I said in the live stream is this, basically, I am not someone who thinks that only certain characters are allowed to, or certain people are allowed to play certain characters. Like, I'm not someone who believes that, a straight person should play a character who is straight. Just for example, let's say if the actor is gay and the character that they play is straight, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Any normal person would not have a problem with that. If a person in real life is straight, but the character that they play is gay, then that shouldn't be a problem. The fact that Scarlett Johansson isn't trans shouldn't have been a problem in the first place. I get that you saying that you want there to be more opportunities for trans people. I get that, but I feel like you're going about this in the wrong way, because you saying that trans people can only play trans people, or that trans roles can only be played by people who are trans, then you are limiting the roles that trans people should want to play. Because if you believe that trans people should be given any opportunity, like say if they were to go out and to play a character who isn't trans, if a trans person wants to play that role, then they should be allowed to play that role, or they should at least be afforded the opportunity to play that role. Now, whether they get the role or not, that depends. But they should at least be given the opportunity, just like how people who are non-trans should be able to play characters who are trans. Again, it depends on the acting ability of the person hired. Do you get what I'm saying? But these people are saying that only trans people can play trans roles. Well, then again, you can apply that logic to anything. For example, if you say that straight characters should only be played by people who are straight, like again, you're taking away opportunities for trans people that you just said you want should have the as should be allowed to have as many opportunities to play as people who are not trans. Like again, do you see the flaw in your logic? So Scarlett Johansson went out and she defended herself for the casting, and she said, "I should be allowed to play any person, tree, or animal." That the whole tree thing became a meme, if I'm being honest. But yeah, she defended her right to play this character, and she should have been able to play the character. Not only you have to remember the fact that Scarlett Johansson was cast was probably also a business decision because people know who Scarlett Johansson is. So if normies look at a movie poster and say, or excuse me, if they see that, oh, Scarlett Johansson's in this film, then they're gonna go watch it because they like Scarlett Johansson and they know who she is. So they're gonna go watch it. But people kept making a stink about it, and then eventually Scarlett Johansson withdrew from the film. And then the movie pretty much went into limbo. Like, people were wondering what the hell is going on with the movie. And this was all the way back in 2018. This was a little over 3 years ago. And then what happened? Then now it's apparently, and this article is a bit more recent, but Scarlett Johansson will be replaced by a trans actor. So there you go, you got what you wanted. And rub and tug as the controversial project moves forward, and now it's going to be a TV series and not a movie. Now this is probably being done probably because of COVID, because they probably know that they can't put that movie out into theaters. And look, this movie, the fact that Scarlett Johansson was now not going to be there, I guarantee you the movie would not have made as much money as it would have. And if they did put it out into theaters, especially considering the situation now, it would have made even less money. So they probably thought, let's just go ahead and make it a TV show. So that's what happened with that. And now I just want to talk about this for a second. And I think I already did talk about this. So these people are saying, apparently, and again, this was back in 2018. But again, it's this mindset of transgender actors on Scarlett Johansson's Robin Tug casting. So according to them, you can continue to play us, but we can't play y'all. Actually, yeah, you can. You can. See, it's this whole mindset that I don't understand with them, because they'll raise a stink about Scarlett Johansson and the fact that straight people can play trans actors, but they say that trans people can't play straight people. Yes, you can, if that's what you want. But when you try to apply this logic of only trans people can play trans roles, then again you have to apply the same rule to every role. Like, straight characters can only be played by straight people. Do you see the flaw in your logic? It's to me, it feels like a lot of people are willing to make this argument without even realizing that there's this big flaw in their argument. So those are just my thoughts when it comes to Scarlett Johansson and her, basically. And again, the reason why I even brought it up is because I know for a fact that since she made this comment, there is a high. Now, again, it could not happen. And if it doesn't happen, then great. I couldn't be happier. But there is a high chance that she's probably going to get a lot of people, or she's probably going to get a lot of people going after her, saying that she's apparently being or whatever buzzword that's even going on right now. And then the same is probably going to happen to Sharon Stone. Like, whenever we have someone who's pretty big, like they have a big following, whenever they go out and call out cancel culture, they always, and I mean always, get people going after them saying, you just don't want to see people being held accountable for their actions. No, I don't know. None of us have a problem with holding people accountable for their actions. The problem that we have is that you seem to be okay with finding something that someone did 10, 15, 20 years ago and it's not even that big of a deal. Like, it could be something as like a bad joke, like the thing that happened with James Gunn. And you're just, you want them gone, you want them in person, almost like you couldn't believe that someone could even make a mistake like that. Like, it's like you keep forgetting that these people are still human. Humans make mistakes, but humans also learn from their mistakes. That's part of being human. But these people seem to be like, they honestly cannot process the fact that humans by nature are flawed. And then I guarantee you, again, she's probably going to get a lot of people going after her because she decided to make these comments. She believes this is the stupidest thing that ever happened. During a recent appearance, sorry if you can hear something in the background, Just Jenny, when asked by host Jenny Hutt for her thoughts on the current social climate in which people are, quote, afraid to have real conversations, I think cancel culture is the stupidest thing that I have ever seen happen. I think when people say things that they feel and mean and it's offensive to you, it's a brilliant opportunity for everyone to learn and grow and understand each other. Yeah, they don't want that. Sorry, they just don't want that. Stone also reasoned that since we've all come from different ages, different cultures, different backgrounds, different things, and have had different experiences, different traumas, different upbringings, different parents, different religions, different religious backgrounds, different everything. People should give others an opportunity to discuss things before you wipe out their entire person over a statement or a comment or a misunderstanding. Stop being so small. People have done so much more than one sentence. And yes, that is all 100% correct. But the thing is, these people do not care about that stuff. They don't care. All they want is for someone to attack. That's all these cancel culture people want. And the thing is, and I think it's hilarious because we've seen, I think I remember seeing a bit of an example lately of, I think, one of their own, someone who probably participated in cancel culture, now they're being canceled too. And what ended up happening is that if they keep canceling people, eventually they will run out of people to cancel. Then what's going to happen is they're going to turn on each other. They're going to turn on each other, and then the same people who were part of cancel culture are going to go out and make criticisms about cancel culture, even though they participated in it. And I think it's insane. I think it's insane that we're even living in a time where this is even happening. And it's one of the reasons why, again, sorry about that. If you could, Jesus Christ. Sorry if you can hear something in the background. Someone's honking their horn for some reason. Again, sorry, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But for me, it's one of the reasons why I think that social media is simultaneously one of the best and the worst things to happen to just humanity, because while it is good in the fact that it allows people to be even more connected than before, at the same time it also gives people the anonymity that they need to be as horrible as they want, and they always put it under the guise of trying to do something good. It's insane. But anyway, those are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this video and if you like what I do here on this channel, please consider leaving a like. Share this video on whatever platform that you use. And remember to leave a comment letting me know your thoughts on what we discussed here in this video. And also, please consider subscribing if you really want to support the channel. And make sure to click on the bell icon, because that will notify you whenever I post a new video and whenever I go live. So that is all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching and listening again. And please remember to stay safe and take care of yourselves. And also join me for the next video. Bye for now.